Did you hear about the grammar teacher who was stressed at the end of the day? She had a tense situation. Now that's a classic case of grammar humor for you. But all jokes aside, it's vital to understand the difference between simple, compound, and complex sentences. Why, you ask? Well, it's because they're the building blocks of effective communication. Now, wouldn't you want to master that? So buckle up, folks. Without further ado, let's dive into the world of sentences: simple, compound, and complex. Meet Mr. Simple Sentence. He likes to keep things straight and to the point. Now, what is a simple sentence, you may ask? Well, it is a sentence that contains one independent clause. That's it. No fuss, no muss. An independent clause, for those scratching their heads, is a group of words that can stand alone as a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb, and it doesn't depend on anything else to make sense. For example, the cat sat on the mat. Simple, right? The cat is our subject, sat is our verb, and the whole sentence is an independent clause. It's a complete thought. It doesn't need anything else to make sense. Mr. Simple Sentence doesn't like to complicate things. He's a straightforward guy. I ate an apple. She reads a book. They played football. One subject, one verb, and a complete thought. Remember, Mr. Simple Sentence is all about simplicity. One subject, one verb, and a complete thought. Now, let's take a step further and meet Miss Compound Sentence. She's all about connection. Imagine you're at a party and you spot Miss Compound Sentence. She's the life of the party, always joining two independent clauses together with a conjunction. What's an independent clause, you ask? It's a group of words that can stand alone as a sentence. It has a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. For instance, I love pizza is an independent clause. Now let's see Miss Compound Sentence in action. I love pizza and I could eat it every day. See what happened there? Two independent clauses, I love pizza and I could eat it every day, were joined by the conjunction and. That's Miss Compound Sentence's superpower. She takes two complete thoughts and combines them into one sentence, making our language richer and more nuanced. So when you see Miss Compound Sentence, know that she loves to connect two thoughts into one sentence. Finally, let's meet the most intriguing character of our story, Mr. Complex Sentence. He loves adding layers to conversations. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a complex sentence? Well, let's break it down together. A complex sentence is like a mini story. It has a main plot, which we call the independent clause, and then it has a subplot, which we call the dependent clause. The independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. It's the big cheese, the head honcho, the main event. But the dependent clause? Well, it's a little shyer. It needs the independent clause to make sense. Let's conjure up an example. Although she had studied all night, she still felt unprepared for the test. She still felt unprepared for the test is the independent clause. It makes sense on its own, right? But although she had studied all night is the dependent clause. It doesn't quite make sense on its own. It needs the rest of the sentence to give it context and meaning. And that's the beauty of Mr. Complex Sentence. He allows us to add depth and detail to our language. He lets us layer our thoughts and ideas, creating a richer, more nuanced picture. He's like the secret sauce that spices up our sentences, making them more interesting and engaging. So remember, Mr. Complex Sentence is all about depth and detail. He adds an extra layer of information to our sentences. Let's revisit our sentence family: Mr. Simple, Miss Compound, and Mr. Complex. Mr. Simple is straightforward with just one independent clause. Miss Compound, the social butterfly, always brings together two independent clauses. And Mr. Complex, well, he's a bit of a mystery, combining an independent clause with at least one dependent clause. Each member of this sentence family has their unique charm, adding variety and depth to our language. Remember, understanding these sentence types can make your communication more effective. So don't be shy to experiment and mix them up in your writing.